These area bosses have given me powerful skills so far.
I can't wait!
What I found was the smallest among the area bosses I'd fought up till now. The turtle monster radiated strong magic though, and it was no slouch compared to the other area bosses. The reptile's body was about 5 meters in length. Its 10 rear intake pipes shone a metallic black as they connected to a thick cannon sticking out from the front of its shell. I used Identify on it to figure out its name, Blast Tortoise. It looked to be a close relative of the cannon tortoise I had run into before, which meant it also had the ability to suck up air and shoot out blasts of air pressure. The creature roared as if to showcase its power. It must have been much stronger than its cousin, given the amount of intake pipes it possessed. It also had better detection skills to go with its artillery capability, as it was already lining up its barrel to fire at me at this great a distance. It shot out one air blast after another. Whoa, I didn't see that coming. The cannon tortoise needed to reload after every shot, but this high-rank monster was worthy of its title. The creature roared as it shot out another blast of highly compressed air. I managed to avoid a direct hit so far, but the air bullets had suddenly exploded around me, dealing massive damage, and that was just the aftershock. The fact that it could detonate its air charges remotely was also a sign of its advanced evolution.
This is bad!
Explosions of air pressure followed one after another as I tried to get away while the blasts chipped at my durability. I could see the air bullets better now, but escape was my top priority. I plunged myself toward the ground with telekinetic catapult to dodge the ensuing barrage, zigzagging left and right.
I've had enough out of you!
I closed in on the turtle, taking every hit that came my way in stride. Got you. The battle was mine now that we were in close range. I brought my blade down upon the turtle to cut it open, but hey, get back here. The turtle drew its head and limbs into its shell at a speed I'd never seen before. I slashed its shell out of frustration, but it was of little to no effect. I wondered if I could wear its shell down if I cut it enough times. But I'm not letting you get away that easily. The turtle, all holed up in its shell, began spinning in place. It sorta looked like Gamera, and indiscriminately shooting its payload of air bullets all around it. It was a mindless barrage which made it hard to read and difficult to dodge. The air grenades rolled up the ground in its immediate vicinity but reverted to regular air bullets at a distance. Its detection skills must have told it of my every move, and it therefore decided to shoot at its main blind spot above its shell by tilting its body. Geez, I couldn't stay above it, so that meant I had to go under it. I checked my stats while dodging the incoming air bullets, an ability I gained thanks to the Doppelsnake's split thinking skill. I put my evolution points, which I was saving up, into my earth magic to bump it up to level 4. The monster I got that from was the Gourmet Orc Mage, and its earth magic was also at level 4. There it is. I was now able to use the Gourmet Orc Mage's hole-digging spell.
Earth Digger!
I jumped into the freshly dug hole and continued burrowing using Earth Digger until I was directly under the blast tortoise. I couldn't see him, but I could feel his presence. Earth Wall. I used the level 3 Earth Magic, Earth Wall, to erect a 2-meter-high wall from right under the blast tortoise's giant body. It drove the creature high enough that it couldn't feel the ground anymore, confusing it. I took the chance and charged right into the turtle. Damaging it wasn't my main objective, however.
I've got you right where I want you!
The turtle toppled from my tackle, unable to gain stable footing on the earth wall, and fell to the ground with its belly exposed. It tried turning itself right side up with its tail, but failed miserably. It wouldn't be able to get away now. The turtle stretched out its head and limbs in a desperate attempt to regain its footing, but I wasn't about to let this chance slip by. I used my greatest skill, the one I used to defeat the Slime Lord, and launched myself at the turtle's head with the telekinetic catapult. It was only a turtle after all. It was no match for me, I win. That was dangerous though. I couldn't afford to underestimate Area 5. I went inside the turtle through the hole I made in its head, and dug around until I found something that looked like a heart containing its crystal. I absorbed it and stored the blast tortoise away, and the pocket dimension still wasn't full. I don't think I have enough MP. I should head back. I would leave investigating the western part of Area 5 for tomorrow. I needed to look at the skills I got from the blast tortoise anyway. I returned to the pedestal and found that the only skills I could use were air compression and air blast. Granted, these were both useful skills. Air blast allowed one to draw in the surrounding air and shoot it out like a bullet. The blast tortoise had specialized organs which allowed it to use this skill, whereas I, on the other hand, used air manipulation and wind magic to achieve the same effect. Air compression seemed useless at first, but it was actually an interesting skill. Using it with air blast buffed up the power of the air bullets, and casting it on myself allowed me to put up a shield of compressed air. It was useless by itself, but it seemed to have interesting effects when used together with other skills. I'm glad I have a lot of skills now, but I'm gonna need some practice so I can put them to good work. A skill was only as powerful as how I used it after all. The following afternoon, I was locked in a fierce battle with the last area boss, Tyrant Sabertooth. It was a gigantic tiger with long fangs, its body standing 4 meters tall and spanning 10 meters long. It was incredibly fast for its size, too. Its ability to jump mid-air made it a deadly and agile enemy. It had various abilities to oscillate its body parts, which made its attack power disgustingly high. Its fur was covered in some sort of magic that made it difficult for my blade to cut through. I managed to slip through the tiger's claws and charge to its side, but I barely scratched it. I managed to avoid the Tyrant Sabertooth's clamping jaws, but the aftershock dealt incredible damage regardless. Was that from its skill? If its graze was enough to rattle me, a direct attack may break me in one hit. The tiger didn't have any way of attacking me from a long range, so putting some distance between it and me seemed to be the best strategy. However, the big cat's insane speed and its ability to traverse mid-air enabled it to catch up no matter how far up in the sky I flew.
Fire arrow!
The fire arrow bounced off its fur, leaving little more than a single in its place. Well, that didn't work. I had to put my back into my slashes to cut through this thing, and magic fared little better. The creature roared though, so I supposed my efforts weren't all for naught. It seemed I did enough damage to greatly annoy the Tyrant Sabertooth. This can only get worse. Should I go for its weak spots or stick to my bread and butter skills? I dodged the creature's attacks as I pondered this question and looked through my skill bank. Eventually, I found my answer.
That's it!
I decided to use my remaining evolution points. However, I wasn't sure if this would secure my victory. You have spent 15 evolution points to upgrade Ultimate Poison Fang to EX Poison. Fang. My solution was Ultimate Poison Fang, the Tyrant Sabertooth. Didn't have poison resistance among its skills, which meant Ultimate Poison Fang should work against it, and I may as well evolve it further with my remaining EP. If it still didn't work, I would make my escape. With that plan in mind, I poked the Tyrant Sabertooth. How do you like that? I cast Identify on him while flying away. Yes, it worked. The Tyrant Sabertooth was now poisoned, its life draining away rapidly. The tiger roared again in a frenzy, its attacks more frantic in its poisoned state. I kept up the offense to make the poison work faster. 3 hours later, I won. I pointed the tip of my blade to the sky in an expression of victory. At my hilt was the corpse of the final boss of Area 5, the Tyrant Sabertooth. The poison had worked its magic, but it entered an enraged state when its life points counter was at about half. I honestly thought I was going to lose that fight, but it was a risk worth taking. First, the skills. I got Oscillation and Vibrofang for my trouble. Oscillation allowed me to use vibrations to destroy a target from the inside out, while Vibrofang allowed me to increase the sharpness of my blade by vibrating it, essentially turning me into a high-frequency blade. The slightest touch would make a target explode, so I quite liked this skill. Next were the crystals. Beating a boss in Area 5 gave me 150 crystals at least. Pair that with the crystals I got from hunting around in Area 4, and I was ready to rank up again. Name, unknown. Race, intelligent weapon. Attack, 392. MP, 1650 over 1650. Durability, 1450 over 1450. Evolution, rank 7, crystals, 2109 over 2800. Skill capacity, 47. Free points, 82 skills. Identify 6, attack up, small. High-speed self-repair, skill sharing, recovery rate plus. Status plus telekinesis, telekinesis up, small. Telepathy, MP up, small. Bestiary, mage. Skill capacity, up, small. The rank up had also topped me off. What should I do now? I was going to go back to the pedestal after the fight was over, but the sun was high in the sky, and the mysterious forest line surrounding Area 5 was staring me right in the face. I had plans to investigate it later, but, I don't know. I was fully healed, and I had time. I thought I could take a peek. I may as well check it out while I'm here. It'd be a shame to go back empty-handed. And so I decided I would explore these uncharted woods. I took my time and inspected my surroundings using night vision and thermal vision to look for potential predators. Doesn't look like there's anything here. There were quite a few animals, but not that many monsters. I spotted some goblins, but they weren't worth the effort of killing at this point. Nothing but low-rank monsters around, it looks like. I thought I would have run into an impossibly difficult god monster in Area 6, but this was no different compared to Area 1. Man, I'm kinda disappointed. I launched myself into the air with telekinetic catapult to get a bird's-eye view of the woods. It seemed to be a normal forest, and I didn't feel the presence of any large monsters around. Oh, I can see a clearing. There was a patch of land in the forest which was clear of trees. I turned around and dropped myself to the ground. I fell, blade first, and lodged myself inside the earth. Perfect landing. Telekinetic catapult often put my blade in a horizontal position. so there had been times where I smacked against the ground with the flat of my blade. It didn't do any damage to my durability, but I considered it a failed landing. I considered sticking the landing with the end of my blade the ideal landing position since it felt nice. It would have been easy to alter my course with telekinesis, of course, but it felt more rewarding to let gravity be the judge of my landing. It was an alternative form of entertainment that wasn't hunting and killing monsters. My blade pierced through the moist ground, and I deduced from its humidity that the ground here was mostly made of clay. Alright, let's do another jump. Huh? I couldn't move. Was the clay's hold on my blade stronger than I thought? I concentrated on increasing the potency of my telekinesis. No way, I can't cast telekinesis? More specifically, something canceled my telekinesis just as I cast it. Time to put some oomph into it. I focused all my magical energy into casting telekinesis, but it whiffed with a weak noise, and nothing happened. Oh, that didn't work? I knew now the ground was absorbing my magic. It drained all the magic I had focused on in a flash. What about this? I tried using my skills now. I used Vibrofang to vibrate my blade and create a gap in the ground to wiggle myself out. But Vibrofang wouldn't even cast. Then I tried shooting air bullets to blast myself out of the ground. That didn't work either. I attempted to use fire magic to burn the surrounding ground away. But no luck. Oh, come on. I took a break from trying to escape and looked at my surroundings.